Number one is that our professors who teach our online distance graduate business programs are also the same professors who teach our residential MBA programs.
Typically, if you have an online program, if you're an administrator, you can go anywhere out and say, hey, for a cheap amount of money, right, I can just get anybody to deliver this class. Here's the 10 learning objectives, go and do it, and don't have to have a lot of oversight. And that is how a lot of schools do it. I do think one of the advantages is, again, I know what my colleagues are teaching. I know who my colleagues are. If I see a deficiency in my students, oh, they didn't get this type of analysis, then I can go to a professor and say, hey, they didn't get this. Is this something that you want me to teach them, or do you want to do it? And we can kind of organize it so that the next class is better than the class before it.
Another reason why our online program has ranked so highly is because the online MBA program at Clarkson has required synchronous weekly sessions. So it's about as close to a regular classroom setting as you're going to get. And a lot of other online graduate business programs don't offer that to their students.
It's the same model, both in person and online. We're taking the same focus. We look at strategies through a lens of business models. And for instance, today in my in-person class, we talk about business models, and we did some mapping. We looked at Amazon's business model versus a company called Warby Parker's business model, and look at how these companies are being innovative. And then in the evening class on the MBA, we do the same thing. And it's interesting because you bring some different feedback in, and then actually what I do is I'll bring some points maybe that some of the online students made, and I'll bring that into my in-person classroom, and vice versa. So I try to make sure that all the students are getting the best of both worlds, which I think is pretty useful. My job, I think, is to take the online experience or the offline experience and bring it into the online world. So try to make sure that I'm engaging and interacting with students at a pace that it's appropriate, in a style that's appropriate. I'm trying to work in other experience that they've had, and it's a little harder to do that online, in all honesty. But the way we do things here in terms of having small class sizes and trying to have a fairly rich classroom environment that we use online in terms of the Adobe Connect software, I can at least see my students, I can hear them, we can have a conversation, it's dynamic, it's integrative. We'll continue to see innovation. I'd like to think that here at Clarkson, we're going to be part of that innovative process to keep developing online learning, to provide quality experiences that the students certainly and companies are willing to pay for, but that there's a great deal of value that's stemming from that product.